Welcome to the deep dive. We get right to the point here.
Mm-hmm.
And today, we're tackling a real comfort food classic,
Oh.
chicken and gravy.
Ah, yes. A favorite.
Definitely. Many of you listening have probably tried making it. Maybe you even have your go-to recipe.
Sure.
But getting that really restaurant quality result,
Yeah.
the rich flavor, that super smooth gravy,
It can be tricky.
it really can. Apparently, something like 78% of home cooks say they struggle with that.
Wow, 78%. That's high. It shows there's, a bit of an art to it, even if it seems simple on the surface.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So our mission today is to unpack this great recipe we found. It's by Chef Luca, called How to Make Chicken and Gravy in 5 Easy Steps.
5 steps. Sounds promising.
Yeah, and we've got the whole article, steps, ingredients, timing, even common mistakes and how to fix them, plus a user comment.
Okay, comprehensive.
Right. The goal is to pull out the key things you need to know so you can make amazing chicken and gravy at home, nice and efficiently.
Sounds good. Let's get into it.
Okay, so those 5 core steps. First up, prepare the chicken.
Right.
The recipe really emphasizes generous, even seasoning. Garlic powder, onion powder, thyme, paprika, salt, pepper.
The classics.
And it says to let the chicken sit with those spices for like 10 to 30 minutes before cooking. Why is that time important?
Well, think of it like a quick, dry brine, almost. The salt starts working on the surface, helps the other flavors stick and even penetrate a little. Plus, letting it sit out for a bit helps it cook more evenly later. Takes the chill off.
Okay, makes sense. Step 2, cook the chicken, medium-high heat, get the oil shimmering,
That shimmers the sign.
and cook it 5 to 7 minutes per side, aiming for 165 Fahrenheit, that's 74 Celsius.
Crucial temperature.
And here's a wild stat using a digital meat thermometer. Apparently, it can improve your accuracy by up to 60%.
60. That's huge. It just takes the guesswork out, doesn't it? No more poking and hoping. You know it's cooked safely, and you know it's not overcooked.
Totally avoids that dry chicken situation, which leads perfectly to step 3. Remove and rest the chicken.
Yes. Don't skip this.
Right. Take it out, tent it loosely with foil, let it sit for 5 or 10 minutes, and apparently this simple pause can make the chicken up to 25% moister.
It really can. What happens is, when you cook meat, the juices get pushed towards the center. Resting lets everything relax, redistribute.
So the juices spread back out.
Exactly. If you cut it straight away, all that goodness just floods out onto the board. Resting keeps it in the chicken.
Kitchen science. Love it. Okay, step 4. Prepare the gravy base using the same skillet.
Got to keep those flavorful bits, the fond.
Yes, the fond. So you make a roux, equal parts butter and flour, and it says cook the roux for 1 to 2 minutes until it's light golden brown.
Yeah.
Why is that specific cooking so important?
Well, 2 reasons mainly. First, it cooks out that raw, pasty flour taste. Nobody wants that.
Definitely not.
Second, it develops a little bit of nutty flavor. It's subtle, but it adds depth to the final gravy. That golden color is the signal it's ready.
Gotcha. Okay, final step, number 5. Finish the gravy and serve. Gradually, whisk in chicken broth. Low sodium is guessed, it says. Then add heavy cream, a bit more thyme, garlic powder,
Whisk.
constantly. Then simmer it for, 5 to 7 minutes? Until it coats the back of a spoon. Season it up. Done.
That simmering time is key for thickening, letting the flavors meld. And yeah, that slow addition of broth while whisking is how you avoid lumps. That coats a spoon test is the classic way to check thickness.
Okay, so 5 steps. Sounds pretty manageable. And the recipe claims the whole thing takes about 50 minutes.
Yeah, that's quite quick.
It says that's like 30% faster than some traditional recipes that might take over 75 minutes. That's a big difference on a weeknight.
It likely comes from using boneless chicken breasts. They cook fast. And a straightforward roux gravy is quicker than, say, a pan gravy that needs longer simmering sometimes. It's smart efficiency.
Right. Okay, let's talk ingredients and maybe some swaps.
Good idea.
We know the basics for the chicken and gravy, but it mentions alternatives. Like, for gluten-free, use cornstarch instead of flour in the roux. Well, not really a roux then, a slurry.
You'd typically make a cornstarch slurry. Yeah. Mix cornstarch with cold water or broth first, then whisk it in. It thickens differently than a flour roux, but works well for gluten-free.
And for a lighter gravy, it suggests just using more chicken broth instead of the heavy cream, or maybe half and half.
Yep, both easy ways to cut down on fat and calories. You might lose a little richness, but it still makes a good gravy.
It also throws out using chicken thighs instead of breasts. It says they can be juicier, more flavorful.
They definitely can be. More fat means more flavor, and often richer drippings for the gravy, too. They might need slightly longer cooking, but the principle's the same.
And olive oil instead of butter.
Hmm.
Arrowroot instead of flour.
Sure, those work. Olive oil changes the flavor slightly compared to butter. Arrowroot is another gluten-free thickener, similar to cornstarch.
And then for specific diets, keto uses xanthan gum and more cream. Dairy-free suggests coconut cream and olive oil. Seems very flexible.
It's good they included those. Shows you can adapt the core method pretty easily. The taste might change a bit with things like coconut cream, but it gives people options.
Okay, quick look at nutrition. About 420 calories per serving, but a lot of protein, 38 grams. That's like 76% of your daily need.
That's substantial. Makes it a really filling meal.
And it mentions B vitamins for energy, which is a nice bonus.
Always good.
Now, serving it up. What goes best with this? The article has the classics. Mashed potatoes are the winner. Apparently, 82% of people pair it with mash.
Can't argue with that. It's the perfect vehicle for gravy.
Totally. Also suggests steamed green beans, maybe with almonds, crusty bread for dipping,
Oh yeah, got a bread.
buttered egg noodles, roasted root vegetables. Lots of good choices.
All sound great.
And I like this idea, a gravy bar. Offer the main gravy, but also little bowls of extras like fresh herbs, truffle oil, chili flakes, mushroom powder. Oh, that's fun, especially for guests. Lets everyone customize. Great idea.
Right. Okay, let's talk mistakes, common pitfalls.
Important stuff. How to avoid disappointment.
Exactly. First one, overcooking the chicken. We touched on this, but the solution is that thermometer again. It says dry chicken is the issue in like 64% of failed attempts.
That number really says it all. A thermometer isn't fussy. It's essential for consistent results, especially with chicken breasts.
Okay, next. Lumpy gravy. The fix. A smooth roux to start and adding that liquid gradually while whisking like mad.
Patience is key here. Don't dump the liquid in all at once. Little by little, whisking constantly. If you do get lumps, sometimes you can save it by straining.
Good tip. Third mistake, under-seasoning. Simple advice. Taste, taste, taste.
Absolutely. Especially the gravy as it simmers and reduces, the flavor concentrates. So taste near the end and adjust salt and pepper.
Number 4, rushing the gravy, not letting it simmer long enough. Apparently, almost half, 47% of gravy failures are because it didn't get enough simmering time.
Yeah, you need that time for it to thicken properly and for the flavors to really come together. Don't rush it. Give it those 5 to 7 minutes, at least.
And the last one ties into what you said earlier. Not deglazing, skipping those brown bits, the fond, in the pan.
Big mistake. That's pure flavor down there. You want to scrape that up with your broth. It makes a huge difference to the depth of the gravy.
Okay, good things to avoid. What about leftovers? Storing and reheating.
Pretty standard. Keep the chicken and gravy separate in the fridge, last 3-4 days.
And freezing.
You can freeze both for up to 3 months. The gravy texture might change slightly when thawed. Sometimes it separates a bit, but usually whisking it well when reheating sorts it out.
And for meal prep, it suggests making the gravy ahead maybe a day or two before.
Yeah, that works great. Just reheat gently. You can even partially cook the chicken, then finish it in the reheated gravy. Makes dinner time quicker.
Cool. The article also had some FAQs based on user questions. We covered using chicken thighs. Yes, just cook a bit longer.
Right, aim for that 165 internal temp again.
What if the gravy's too thin? Fix is a cornstarch slurry tablespoon of cornstarch mixed with cold water, whisked in.
The quick fix. Works like a charm. Just bring it back to a simmer after adding it.
Dairy-free options, we talked about olive oil, plant butter, coconut milk, or other non-dairy creamers.
Yep, covered those.
And the secret to silky smooth gravy, it's a combo. The cooked roux, the constant whisking, and maybe straining it at the end if you want perfection.
That straining step is like insurance for smoothness. If you're worried about tiny lumps, a quick strain through a fine sieve does the trick.
And making it ahead for a party. The same advice. Gravy ahead, maybe partially cook the chicken.
Makes party day much less stressful.
Definitely. We also saw a comment from someone, Unions, who tried the recipe.
Oh, yeah. What did they say?
Said it was really clear, informative, liked the flexibility and the customization tips. Good feedback.
Nice.
They did suggest adding photos or maybe a video, which is fair. Visuals always help.
True, especially with cooking techniques like making a roux.
So wrapping this up then, our deep dive into Chef Luca's 5-step chicken and gravy.
It seems like a solid method.
Yeah, I think the key takeaway for you listening is, if you understand these steps, these techniques, you can definitely make this delicious, comforting dish really well at home. It's about getting that flavor and texture balance right.
Absolutely. And it's more than just following steps. It's knowing why you're doing them. Why you rest the chicken, why you cook the roux, why you add liquid slowly. That understanding is what makes you a better cook overall.
That's a great point. And actually, that leads perfectly into our final thought for you today.
Okay.
Think about these core techniques we've talked about. Making a good roux, resting meat properly, deglazing a pan, seasoning thoughtfully. These aren't just for chicken and gravy.
No, they're fundamental skills.
Exactly. So the question for you is, how can you take that understanding and apply it to other dishes you make? Maybe elevate your soup thickening, or make juicier pork chops, or richer pan sauces. This one recipe holds keys to lots of other delicious possibilities.
Good food for thought. Opens up a lot of doors.
So something to chew on until our next deep dive. Happy cooking.